Nice. Hey guys. Welcome to my lecture. So I've decided to do a deep dive into the phrasing by doing an analysis of Betty Carter and Carmen McRae, both absolute legends. So what's phrasing? What do you reckon, Jeff? What's phrasing? Like, do you do it?
Yeah, what is phrasing?
I think Jeff does it. Jeff does phrasing, Bez does it. Even drummers do phrasing, right? So we're all thinking about how we're going to influence what melody is happening. So what are we going to change about it? So each jazz musician creates their own sound by listening to the other people that inspire them. It's all about the inspiration of and joy of sharing, which is at the core of everything about jazz. It is a collaborative and intensely personal experience. It all starts at knowing the bones of the standards, so knowing it with our ears and our voice and our feeling. And knowing this is obviously very important. And then after that, we obviously look at having the freedom to manipulate and develop the phrase, which pushes and pulls the feeling of the song. And to do this, it becomes your own living and breathing thing. So each time it's different, it's going to be enjoyable by the person singing it as well as the people listening. So why Betty Carter? I guess that kind of explains itself. That's kind of a rhetorical question, I guess. She was actually born Lily Mae Jones. That's actually a nice name. I don't know why she changed it. Couldn't find out why. Betty has such an entrancing voice. This is why I've chosen, because she inspires me with the way that she sings, and more importantly, the feeling behind what she gives on stage. There's so much to take from all of the greats. Obviously, focusing on just Betty Carter is like one thing, but having a broad range of people to look at is really great. So having this deep dive into people that inspire me is really good for my progression for this year. Betty embraced the bebop era. So she's got all this amazing language. But she went on to master her scat style, which was developed like outside of the bebop era as well. Like she developed it all the way through avant-garde and all sorts. So her scat is spontaneous and her phrasing is really sparse. She manipulates the phrasing of the head, and with her soloing, she always is thoughtful and unique with the sound. Just a little word from Betty herself. I'm not a trumpet, and I wasn't about to imitate one. So I think she's just meaning, she's just her. She's just her voice. She is who she is. And so, why Carmen? Carmen has a distinctive twang in her voice, yet is still so warm and breathy. She has an impeccable ability to sing behind the beat, which just makes her sound super swung. It's just really nice to listen to. So all these sort of things I'm trying to bring out of my own sort of technique and sort of style as well. Carmen bends the phrase so much that you're kind of like being pulled away from the melody, but there's still like that inkling of the melody, all swooped in with the swoops and like arpeggios. And a word from Carmen. Lyrics come first, then the melody. The lyrics of a song I might decide to sing must have something I can convince you with. So how do I do the practice side of things? So I went about this topic all because of my goals at the start of the year that I created with Bex. So they are: be more confident with phrase choosing, leave more space in my scatting, which obviously everyone's can relate to. Develop more syllable choices as well. So how have I done this? I've listened to both of the songs, heaps and heaps and heaps. Get them in your ear. I transcribed the solo first, just getting that language in, sort of stepping away from what the melody is doing and actually going into the harmony a bit more. And then I transcribed the melody of both the singers because they, on this one song in particular, they are both taking a head each and they do it completely different to each other, which is really a nice way to analyze how phrasing is quite a personal thing. And I scored everything on sort of like one chart with the original lead sheet of what it was intended to be at the start, which is actually super boring. The original is quite straight and very plain, so it's really awesome to see it side by side, which I'll be going into a few examples soon. Then I learned the chords on guitar, so it's kind of my way of comping for myself. So just going through it really slowly and getting into each of the chords, and then being able to play those chords whilst figuring out my own phrasing. Yeah. And then I learned to sing with the same sort of timbre and like the tone and everything that's being portrayed by Betty and Carmen, trying to just like imitate their sound and then analyze their phrasing because of that. And then improvise my own version. That's the like kind of last step. So yeah, I'm going to get Stephen up. I've got the sections all kind of split out together, as you can see. I'm going to attempt to sing them all. And yeah, you can kind of get the vibe of each of the singers. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends on you. Actually, I've got some things to plain. Okay, so Betty. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends on you. So Betty Carter is playing with the lyrics and emphasizing each of the stress words. So I'm happy and I'm blue. With this, she's delaying the phrase in this last half, and she's really stretching it out, leaving heaps of space. So what's McRae doing? Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends upon you. Yeah, it's nice. Thanks, Stephen. Amazing. So yeah, as you can see in the shaping of like her phrases, she's using a lot of arpeggio lines. She is also doing lots of octave jumps. Sometimes I'm blue, sometimes I'm blue, sort of thing. And she's also delaying the phrase and using quarter notes to sort of bunch it together so it still stays within. And then she's also finding resolutions on the seventh note, so the G flat and the E flat for those two chords. Yeah. Pans upon you, da-da-da-day. So that's something to learn. Heaps of syncopated lines in both of their they're both of their phrases. Scalar and arpeggio lines, and good use of guide tones as well. Sweet. So let's give the B section a go, shall we? Yeah. I never mind the rain from the sky if I can find the sunshine in your eyes. I never mind the rain from the sky, just as long as there's sunshine in your eyes. So with Carter, she's singing a lot of arpeggios. She's also leaving a lot of space and doing chromatic movements and changing the lyrics to keep a lot of space. 'Cause I never find the rains from the skies, just as long as I can find the happy in your eyes. And I think with Carmen's phrasing, she really uses beautiful sort of lines and very like singable. She's using the blues scale in the first couple of bars there, and also she's using syncopated a lot, going back to the sort of on the beat swung for this next section, working her way to the dominant 7 of the F7. Just as long as I find have. Yeah. Cool. And descending arpeggio right at the end. Thanks, Stephen. Cool, we'll go into the C section. Yeah? Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. It's a nice space being used. Carmen's always breaking it up. She's having lots of short motifs going through. So you got sometimes I hate you, sometimes I love you. So it's like using that same sort of phrase manipulation and developing it into a longer phrase at the end there. She's lilting as well. It's like using that tone is really beautiful. Sometimes I love you. So that's really beautiful. Yeah, and use of previous syncopated line from what I just sang there. So sometimes I love you. It's 'cause I love you, baby. So is that syncopated line? What's Carmen doing? What do you reckon? Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I love you, baby. Then again I hate you, baby. But when I hate you, baby, it's 'cause I love you, baby. Thanks, Stephen. Phrase is starting early, so that's cut off there. I couldn't remember quite how it went, but we got into it eventually. So she's starting to manipulate and add lyrics to her phrasing, just to like really draw it out and make it less spaced. So that's really nice to see. She's very sassy in this line, so she's using these really nice bluesy sort of tones and lines. That's really, real catchy. Sweet, so we'll finish it off, shall we? All right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. Aha. Let's try the other one again. Let's do that one again. Okay, one. That's how I am, so what can I do? That now I'm in my own head. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. Nailed it. Got there in the end. Yeah, so here at Betty is really delaying that phrase, which kind of feels like a little bit displaced now that I'm singing it like this. But when you hear it in the full head of her singing it, it's really nice how she like ends the phrase into this next section from the previous, and so she's giving it a lot of space, and then she's really like hitting it. Ending her phrase by descending, which sets Carmen up being able to hit the octave at the start of her head. Yeah, cool. So Carmen McRae. That is how I am, so what can I do? I'm so happy when I'm with somebody but you. Nice. So yes, Carmen's starting the phrase quite early, so that's quite a good contrast to Betty. And she's leaving that nice space there as well. The scalar run at the end really sets up Betty's solo, which kind of starts off straight after this. So yeah, the outcome of kind of diving into each of these phrasings and understanding like where they're keeping the space is allowing me to sort of think about it in my own way, and like all this language that I'm getting from them on the sort of lead into the notes is allowing me to have that sort of ability internalize all of that language, and obviously they've mastered their craft, so looking up to them to learn from. Becoming more confident with my own phrasing choices, and that flexibility around that improvisation. So really keeping that space in mind when playing. So let's do my own version, I guess, guys. But sometimes I'm happy, and sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends on you. I never mind the rain from the skies, just as long as I find heaven in your eyes. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I love you, that's because I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? What can I do? I'm so happy when I'm with you, when I'm with you. Sometimes I love you, and sometimes I love you, but then I love you, baby. It's 'cause I hate you. That's how I am. So what can I do? What can I do? I'm so happy when I am lonely and so happy. Always so happy. I'm so happy when I'm with you. chart there. Cool. Okay, so we're going on to this is always. So is there actually time for another? Yep. Yeah? Sweet. So yeah, pretty much did the same with This Is Always with Betty Carter. So with her, well, this one here is like a beautiful ballad, something that Betty is quite well known for. A beautiful arrangement of voice and piano. 24 bar song, so it's quite a nice, short, sweet. It's the rich tone and phrase manipulation of the song is like incredible. So I just listened to it a lot, transcribed the melody, scored everything with the original lead sheet, and then spoke the lyric, highlighting the words that stood out for me, so making an emphasis on those words and like thinking about that within the phrase, and then indulging in that rich tone and improvising on that as well. This isn't sometimes, this is always. This isn't maybe, this is always. Yes, it's love. The beginning of forever. This isn't just a midsummer madness, a passing glow, a moment's gladness. Yes, it's love. I knew it from the night we met. You tied a string around my heart. How Yeah, so this is always the sections I broke down. It's really interesting to see her way of keeping that space and really indulging in some of those long tones and arpeggiating all the way through, which is really nice to see. I had this section set up and thinking if there was more people, what do you think? But it's only a couple of years, so I don't know. Michaela, what do you think? What can you see in this phrase?
It's really interesting because I can see in Betty's phrasing it's a lot more clustered, which
Yeah.
is quite nice. It leaves a lot. It creates that space of making those lines shorter throughout each bar,
Mm.
and it just makes it a lot more interesting to listen to than the original head.
Mm.
And playing with those different arpeggiations is
Mm.
really fun.
Yeah.
I can imagine like how fun it would be to like play with that and
Oh,
sing
for
it.
sure. Yeah, it is good fun.
Yeah.
And like the triplet feel as well in that
Yes.
last part. Yeah.
Yes. I can't quite see it because it's just
It's so teeny.
but
Oh yeah, it's just there. Yeah.
but yeah, no, I can see it. It's
Yeah.
very cool as well.
Yeah, nice. Thanks. Yeah, and then in this section, she's just really like using the same sort of feel like throughout this whole song, but we won't go into what you can see. The last section is really quite beautiful because she's like using that last phrase that really at the end, she's really dragging it out. It's like leaving that huge amount of silence in between before she finishes the head. So I just think that's really clever. Really lovely how she's displacing it so much. Yeah, so that's me. Thank you for watching. Any questions?
So your focus was like mostly to do with the phrasing stuff, but you did mention also the like timbre and the tone with that last one. Were there like key things that stood out to you with how you found yourself changing or like mimicking the timbre?
Yeah.
Is that something you'd want to go into more?
Yeah, it's like something that I've because I've kind of got like this soprano voice back in like what I've had in the past of singing. So when I stepped into doing more jazz, of like trying to figure out what that tone is, like that breathiness, like being able to hone in on that sort of quality. So especially with Betty, she's got this really deep tone. She's obviously, maybe the song is further down her career. So I guess for me being a 30-year-old and her being, 70-something, it's probably like hard to mimic sometimes. But yeah, really trying to think about the depth of my sort of tone, like using a lot of more like resonance in the back and and especially with the scatting, like I have it being able to use some of those like really nice like long days and D's and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I'm noticing that like a lot of my singing now is getting a lot more depth to it. So yeah, starting to mimic her a bit more. So yeah, yes.
It's cool though. I was thinking that too. But what's cool is that it's still you. You know, like
Yeah.
even through the process of maybe mimicry, your identity is still really strong. But it's not just deeper in tone. Like it feels to me like you have deeper sense of beat
Yeah.
and a little bit more confidence to like let the phrasing sort of sit where it wants to sit naturally, and I hear it. So I think it's been pretty amazing to hear the transformation in your performance. So
Yeah, like I screwed up that first song, so I was like, oh, that's so annoying. But like I think because I was trying to go off on the phrase a lot, and then that kind of distracted me away. But I've got a lot of work to do on that side of things, like being able to still stay in on the form and like use those like delayed phrasing or like, but staying in on the beat is starting to become a lot more natural, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, just playing around with the phrase and not getting lost is a big learning for me this semester. So yeah,
Yeah, very cool.
yeah, yes.
So looking at Betty and Carmen,
guess like finding my own way of communicating in the song is like the main thing with any of the songs and any of the genres, I guess. Like finding what it means for you is like the lyric, and being able to sort of look inwards and then be able to sing what you feel out of that, and like choosing to have that space, and then like allowing my like knowledge of going through the arpeggios and like going like around the melody a little bit. Yeah, I think that's like transferable. Yeah.
And playing with it rhythmically depending on like what
Yeah.
tune you're on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of things that I'm really trying to develop better skills with, especially being able to stay on with the key, like with the changes as well, like kind of thinking about the two things, keeping that space, but like being able to have an idea of like where I am in the form. Yeah. Any other questions?
I was interested in that comment. I think, was it Betty Carter who said lyrics come first?
Yeah.
And then melody?
Yeah.
So just sort of think about that. So what do you think she meant? Does she sort of mean that, well, I can do anything with the melody, but I won't really change the lyrics?
I think it's more like the melody. Oh, sorry, not the melody. The lyrics are like a way of communicating what you're feeling. So she's like wanting that to become the main focus of like what people take away. And like if she's not feeling connected to the lyrics herself, how can she make the people in front of her really draw into the song? How do you convince them to be part of the experience, I guess? Yeah. I just think that's like incredible. Yeah, it's good learning.
To add on that, it's very interesting to see how that reflects itself in the theory of it, because looking at the lyrics of the first tune that we were looking at, or not even with the ballad actually, with the compressed parts of it, it almost creates a kind of spoken feel of it, as if she's coming up with these thoughts as a conversational thing, speaking to the audience, and so that actual rhythmic technique is showcasing that emotion. So that kind of tie in there is really cool to see, like how that, like the lyrics.
It's like being able to, okay, like how am I speaking this lyric? How am I going to then be able to sing that in that way? Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Hey, Ren.
Just to like add even more on to that, like, because it's a really interesting like line of dialogue. Do you ever like think about stories or narratives or emotions when you're like doing a solo, for instance? Like, are you like kind of thinking about the lyrics and then building your own sort of story or spin on it?
I don't know. So at the moment, I feel like when I'm in this sort of environment, I'm really trying to think about the patterns with my scatting. Like and like repetition, and then like leaving that space. So sometimes I feel like a bit detached away from like the improv, but like when I'm outside of this sort of like learning space and just feeling like I'm just singing along while I'm washing the dishes or something, and I'm feeling like hearing the song in a different way, like hearing this, like, because I've got quite a few of these songs that I listen to on Spotify, which is just instrumental, and so I'm like scatting along to that all the time, and I just feel a lot with it. Like, so I'm feeling like I'm hearing what is being put out in that song, and I'm like reacting to it. So it's all around like the band being live, and then you're like reacting to what's happening with each other, I guess. Yeah. But at the moment, I feel like I'm just trying to like, what am I going to do next? And I sang it like that, so I'm going to like repeat it and do it in a slightly different way. And so I think that's the next step, is like to be able to be so confident that I can just focus on the feeling with the scat. So like the phrasing is like the feeling, and the scat's like I'm really like putting my brain on. Like, so as soon as I can step away from that, that's going to be like success for me. Yeah. Good question. Oh, both questions. Yeah, cool. Want to say thanks to you guys for being my band, and thanks for you guys for sticking around and enjoying the show.
Thanks
Yeah,
for a lovely show.
thank you.